Welcome everybody again to Hearing Health Insights with APPF, where we bring you exclusive interviews with our independent audiologists in South Africa. Our goal here is to help the public understand more about hearing health and the professionals who play a crucial role in it. And today I have the pleasure of interviewing Andra. And Andra, please can you share with me and our listeners what inspired you to become an audiologist and where they can find you?
Years ago, when I was still in school, I thought I'm going to be a speech therapist and teach children, deaf children, to speak. But as my studies grew, I realized that audiology is a big interest and I love audiology. So then I realized, and I just carried on with audiology through all my life. And by now I know that I'm definitely not a speech therapist. I'm more an audiologist. Yes. And I feel I'm really passionate about audiology. Yeah. Okay. So my practice is in Kathu in the Northern Cape. It's a smallish town. It's not that small. We've got a lot of residents. Yeah, it's mainly a mine town where we've got a lot of mines around us. So we do a lot of industrial audiology in the practice. Yeah, but I do see private patients, older people, younger children. I see a lot of children. Yeah, so all over the spectrum.
That's awesome. Okay, well, it's also the first time that I get to chat to you about your practice and who you are as a professional, and it's great to meet you. I wanted to ask about specifically about the mining industry and industrial audiology. What type of services do you offer for industries in the area for those employees that are exposed to lots of noise?
What I do is that I do diagnostic tests for the mines. And then here and there, when there's a person coming past that's really got a hearing loss that needs to be treated, we fit hearing aids to them. And then I do hearing protection, but not in loads for the mines. I don't go out to the mines and do the hearing protection. There is people coming and working in the mines. So I do the few that is referred to my office. I usually do hearing protection for them, custom-made hearing protection.
Do you find that people that have noise exposure and hearing loss, is it a challenge to get them to swap between hearing aids and noise protection?
Yes, it's a challenge because, you know what, we would like, as audiologists, like the people to wear the hearing aids as much as possible during the working day also. But unfortunately, legally, they've got to wear hearing protection while they're working in noise. So I've got to teach them how to switch between the two, when to switch, how to look after the hearing aids when they're in the mine and they've got them with them, got the hearing aids with them so that they don't lose them, don't damage them. So it is a challenge, yes.
I'm sure also with the dust and all exposure
Yeah.
to environmental factors.
Yeah, usually we tell them not to wear the hearing aids while they're working in noise. We take them or I teach them how to take it off, put them away, wear the hearing protection, and once they're finished, put them back on, so that they get the most stimulation for their brain with the hearing aids. But legally, unfortunately, they've got to wear hearing protection when they're working in a noisy environment.
Would you say that this is an area that you predominantly focus on in your practice, or do you see a wide variety of other types of patients?
Well, I see a wide variety, although most of the referrals comes from the mines. I've got to deliver this service for the mines in my area, but I do see children, all ages. I've had a 6 weeks old baby in my office last week, and I see older people. So I see like school children. I see them all. Yeah, all ages.
For those that have children that bring their children through to you, what type of testing do you offer for the younger population?
I've got middle ear pressure tests with reflexes. We usually do OAEs, autoacoustic emissions, where we test the hair cells in the cochlea. That's a very nice objective test to use because the patient or the child doesn't need to respond. That gives you a lot of information on what's happening in the ear. And then we've got free field audiometry, play audiometry in the sound booth, where we test them free field and see what responses we can get from the child. We had one this morning which responded very nicely to the sounds. Yes, it's always nice to see when you get a good response from a child, a young child.
Yeah, it's the best. Absolutely the best.
And I've got a very good secretary helping me. She's like a second audiologist in the soundproof room. So she knows exactly what to do with the children and not what to do. So we're a great team. Yeah.
It really does help to have a strong office support and someone that understands what you're doing. So well done on that. I wanted to ask, can you share with me any heartwarming story that you may have as in your memory bank of any patient that you can think of that had a really good outcome or really lovely story that you'd like to share with viewers?
I'm thinking of all the people that I've been working the past few days with. I had a telephone call from a patient this morning. Her ear canal, she's got growths in her ear canal and it eventually closed the ear canals, but she's also got a very severe hearing loss. So she's very dependent on her hearing aids, and the fear that she's got inside, if one of her hearing aids breaks, what she's going to do, how she's going to get another hearing aid quickly so that she's not, totally switched off from the world around her. So that fear, she went for an operation, opened the ear canals on both sides so she could get the ear molds back into her ears, and now she wants us to motivate for a second pair of hearing aids with a medical aid so that she's got a backup. So, it's so nice and these patients has been coming with me like since I've started in the Northern Cape. So that is one of the nice cases. And then I saw a young girl last week. I've tested her when she was like starting in primary school, and she had like almost normal hearing and a little bit of a middle ear problem, which we've sorted out with the ear, nose and throat specialist. And now years later, she landed in my office last week with severe hearing loss in both ears. Also, again, middle ears, but the whole problem is it looks like she's also got a permanent hearing loss now. I love to walk to have patients in my office that I can walk like years with them. They keep on coming back. Yeah, it's like they're in your heart and just part of the practice. And that's what I love about my practice, is that you've got these patients coming back. You get to know them. Yeah, and you walk the walk with them.
Yeah, absolutely. Those are always the nicest. And you see kids when they're born, and then you see them growing facial hair and having voices that break. It's beautiful.
Yes. And learning speech and the whole experience that you've got with them when they've got a hearing loss as a baby, and then later on how they start to speak. And it's just wonderful. It's a privilege to be part of people's lives.
It is, and it's a privilege to be part of this profession, I must say.
Yes, it is.
On that note, I just have one last question that I'm going to ask. How would you inspire a young budding audiologist or a student in terms of whether they should embark on audiology as a profession, and what you would tell them about audiology?
I think what's nice about audiology is that you never stop learning. There's so many new things, new hearing aids, new technology. It's such a stimulating career to have. If I just think of the summit that we had this past month, and what we've learned, how to look at hearing loss. What new things can you teach your patients? How do you work with your patients, the new patients that comes into your office? What do you tell them? Why do they need to look after the hearing? And why do you need to do something when you've got a hearing loss? There's so many stimulating things. And I've been been an audiologist at 35 years, and I've never stopped learning, and I love that.
Well, it's absolutely inspiring, and it's lovely to hear. There's nothing worse than becoming stagnated in your profession and in your job. So it's very inspiring, and I hope that These questions will provide valuable insight for the public and help them understand the significance of hearing health, while also getting to know the dedicated audiologists in South Africa who are passionate about making a difference in people's lives. So thank you very much, Andra, for your time this morning. We would like to encourage viewers to please subscribe to our channel and like the video, leave a comment, ask a question. We're only too happy to engage, and thank you for watching.